My first year of illustration had come to an end, not with a bang, but with a long series of choked, sputtering coughs where you can't really get anything up and you drool and go red in the face before eventually giving up and just learn to live with the discomfort. Unlike high school, there's no real last day of classes. They kind of just wind down as various schedules end and the summer classes pick up slowly, and little by little, familiar faces disappear from hallways and classrooms as people went back to their hometowns, leaving me, once again, a townie. All in all, illustration was not what I expected. I felt like a nobody, going nowhere. I was just trying to keep my head down to make it through to the other side. Academic, emotional, and social fronts were overrun, and this respite seemed but a tease. But despite all that, I could not help but look forward to the next year. I knew that with everything that I'd gone through, the only logical course of action for me was to press on and have faith things would get better. Because they truly could, and the only way to find out was to see for myself. This first year was boot camp. Second year would be proper technical illustration, and that would be the real test. Socially, I just barely coasted by. I was certainly no big man on campus, and only recently managed to shed the largely shy demeanor that had plagued me throughout my youth. I'd made a couple of acquaintances, but that was it. And romantically, well, I'd never been given to the notion of casual relationships, but I'd nonetheless learned the lesson that I was ill-suited to them anyway. School gave me the finger, and I was miserable. But I was ready to take second year, pin it right to the mat, and hate fuck it live on pay-per-view. 'Cause that's how life is. Either you take the hit, adapt, and move on, or you let it wear you down until you're walking around with your head hung so low you're picking dirt out of your eyebrows. Romance is no different. You might think everything's going great, and then out of the blue you get broken up with and have no idea why, and you start questioning your own value and if you'll ever feel comfortable opening up to someone again. We can all end so suddenly with no explanation, and it might seem like you'd be better off giving up on finding love altogether. But you can't. You have to believe things will get better because they can, and the only way they can is if you keep going. You have to accept that sometimes bad things happen, and you'll never know why. Unless you're me. Cut to 3 years later. Summer 2009. My girlfriend and I, spoilers, are out driving around and discussing relationships. I mentioned Nola and how it sucked not knowing why we broke up and how it fucked with my head. And then she asks, "Do you want to know why she broke up with you?" And then she tells me. That Christmas, when Nola went back home, she met up with a guy she knew and had a crush on. She discovered she liked that guy more than she liked me, and didn't think it was right to keep dating me, having figured that out. I ask, how do you know this? Well, Nola had many would-be suitors after we broke up, including but not limited to a guy we'll call Simon, who had the personality of a bag of wet sawdust. He tries hanging out with Nola, and she tells him why she broke it off with me. She finds out he thinks they're on a date, turns him down, so he goes to my would-be girlfriend when he finds out her and I are getting close and tells her the whole thing, hoping this will get her to turn me down. Who needs soap operas when you have college? So she asks, "Do you feel better?" And I'm like, yes, obviously. Why didn't she just say that? Everyone was right. There was another guy. 3 years later, I was long since over it, but I finally found out why she dumped me. And the fucked up part? It was 100% the right move. Perfectly understandable. She liked someone else more than me. Ethically, it would be wrong to continue. But she decided to spew some shit about how it's not you, it's me. The truth would have hurt, but it made sense. And it hurts a lot less than not knowing it all. So I guess that's the lesson there. And the other lesson, I guess, is if you can't keep your own secrets, don't expect anyone else to either. Really though, fuck it. We were kids. We all handled the situation poorly. But hopefully telling you now you can relate, let go some of the pain from your own past, or maybe avoid making the same dumb mistakes we did. Life will give you shit. Work, romance, school, family, whatever. That's just how it is. But don't let bad experiences jade you. Learn from them. 'Cause good times could be right around the corner. But you have to have your head held up to see them.